I've made a few videos about books now, and I just wanted to make a very short one today to talk about literary prizes. I don't think we should have them. I think novelists should be rewarded with funding, especially if they're hard up, which these days a lot of novelists are. But I feel literary prizes skew the public's perception of writers and frequently draw the public's attention and the literary establishments to certain writers to the detriment of others. Now, your immediate conclusion would probably be, this is because this person has not won prizes, but that's not the case. I haven't won big prizes like the Booker Prize, but I have won some reasonably prestigious literary prizes. I won the Betty Trask Award and the Desmond Elliott Prize for this, which is my first novel, called The Land of Decoration. I was shortlisted for the Encore Award for my second novel. My third novel was longlisted for the Baileys, as it used to be, or the Women's Prize. But I just feel that prizes in the arts in general are judged by a small, always, except the Folio Prize. The Folio Prize is judged by a vast pool of literary critics, other novelists, and esteemed people in the literary establishment. I'm going to go through why I think literary prizes shouldn't exist. They can detrimentally affect other writers' careers. So the fact that a writer has won, say, the Booker Prize with their first novel, which sometimes happens, means that their second and third novels will be snapped up by publishers. And they will make a lot more money, which is great for that writer, but for the hundreds and thousands of other writers that have written books that are just as good, they'll suffer. May even not be able to write any further novels because they won't be commercially viable enough. So, for one person's quite seismic or sometimes astronomical gain, thousands of other writers suffer. So the fate of novelists and writers rests in the laps of a precious few so-called experts. The panels they are, and I'm not denigrating any of these groups of people, I'm just saying how can they judge a literary prize? They're newsreaders, they're comedians, they're sports presenters, they're actors. All of these people may be brilliant in their own right, but it's like getting a farmer, a dustman, an electrician, and a prop designer to judge a baking competition. I don't know if this is the same in the visual arts and the music industry. I think probably not, but in the literary world it really is crazy. I'm not going to name any literary prizes in particular, but some of their panels are just laughable. So many times books which are brilliant have been completely missed by literary prize committees. And I don't know how that affects those writers' careers. Some of them even have to stop writing because they don't have the financial means. What purpose do literary prizes serve? They draw the public's attention to works of brilliance, which is great for the publishing industry and reading in general. But I feel there could be other ways to draw the public's attention. There could be literary festivals, there could be author events. Again, that would... I'm all for writers being financially rewarded, of course. Until recently, I myself was in dire straits financially because the money I made from the first couple of novels was tied up. Well, I bought a very tiny flat, which meant I had nothing to live on, and because I couldn't write anything else at that time because I was exhausted, I had no money coming in, just dribs and drabs from reviews and teaching. I also want to say that this novel, the first novel that got most of the literary prizes, I think is the weakest novel. And the second two novels, which I think are far stronger, were pretty much ignored. And this is not just my personal experience. There are so many other writers who have written brilliant novels which haven't been rewarded by the literary establishment in terms of prizes, and vice versa. Other novels which I think sometimes are truly awful, and it's a travesty that they've been given a very prestigious prize and taken attention from very deserving writers. So I just don't feel that prizes in the arts are a good thing. I guess this goes back to the fact that I think competition in general, while I do see obviously the healthy benefits of it, in general it's a destructive thing. And what I would like to see is encouragement across the board rather than singling out individuals. Even for that individual who's won the prize, or the fellowship, or the election to an elite group, for instance, maybe Granta's best of 20 young British novelists. Even those lucky winners, there can be downsides for them as well. For instance, the pressure they feel to keep that up, to produce something even more brilliant the second time round. So the question is, how can the public and the world in general be directed to the world of literature? And how can publishing keep making money without the institution of prizes and literary honours? And I guess this goes even further than literature. I guess the principle applies to science, mathematics, engineering, everything. Should prizes be awarded for brilliance? Because in science and maths, brilliance is much more clearly arguable, but in the arts, I feel, in particular, experts often get it wrong. So what could be done instead? I feel that the money sometimes hundreds of thousands, could be pooled and divided between writers that are financially hard up. I think basically that literary prizes makes the scales more uneven, and because I can't see a way around this or see it changing, I feel we shouldn't have literary prizes. I'm so glad I wrote all 3 of my novels at once, before even the first was published. They were all written, and so none of the writing was swayed by outside opinion, by any particular prize, by any particular review. If it had been, then I may not have even been able to write the 3rd novel, because my 2nd novel had such a vicious and sometimes perversely critical backlash that I would have been so crushed I couldn't write another novel after that. And I think the 2nd novel is vastly superior to the 1st, so it just didn't make any sense. I just feel literary prizes perpetuate injustice and are damaging rather than constructive. Because for every winner, there are hundreds of losers. But maybe ultimately that's okay. I mean, the fact that the world is unjust has never, I was going to say it's never prevented great writers from writing, but actually it has, because some brilliant writers have killed themselves because they haven't been recognised. I guess that's a failing on their part, because it means they're writing for other people rather than in a totally pure way, just in accordance with their inner vision, inner voice. I say inner, but real creativity comes from outside of us. Yeah, that's their personal hurdle to get over. I don't know what any of you feel, if you're readers and you follow literary prizes, awards, honours. Anyway, that's my half penneth worth. I feel able to speak about this because it's not that I'm in the camp who've won the ultimate literary prizes, or in the camp that have won nothing, or possibly even unpublished. I guess I'm sitting in the middle. I feel they should be done away with. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again.